What's good, YouTube? Manaphy here. If you tuned into my meta report or follow the Pokemon Pocket tournament scene in general, you might have seen that Gyarados managed to get second place in an almost 1,200 player tournament this past weekend. And from the outside looking in, you're probably as surprised as I was, as when you look at the stats of Gyarados as a whole, you see that they barely made 50% win rate and they had terrible win rates against some of the most popular decks in the format. However, if you look at the list that made second place, you could tell it's not your cookie cutter version of Gyarados. Yes, Gyarados is your finisher, Manaphy's there to ramp, and now it's almost a staple to have Origin Form in your water decks. But when it comes to the selection of support cards or lack thereof, you could clearly see they had one goal in mind, and that's to give themselves the best chance against the best deck in the room. As once you cut out the performance of all the other Gyarados decks, the stats say a very different story. As you can now see that this player actually had an 80% win rate, and this includes top cut, and they put themselves in the best position to beat the best deck, and boy did they ever, with almost a 90% win rate against them. So going right into the card by card, Gyarados is a great finisher in this format because not only is it bulky enough to survive most attacks of all the main threats in the format, it's able to knock most of them out, as the likes of Arceus and Darkrai all fall under the 140 mark, as well as with the help of Geo or Rocky Helmet, you're able to knock out Dialga and Rampardos as well. The addition of the Origin Form Palkia has become quite the staple or standard in water decks, as it forces your opponent to earn 4 points, as you have the lead Manaphy, which will get knocked out most if not all the time. And before the use of Palkia, you would go straight into your finisher after Manaphy, thus making your opponent theoretically only have to knock out one real threat to win the game. Now with the addition of Palkia, you're able to jump from Manaphy to a one-pointer that won't cost you the game if it falls, while still applying pressure and threatening with your finisher in the backline. And this strategy is solidified by the fact that Manaphy not only ramps your finisher, but also the Palkia all at once. Where this deck really deviates from what we know from water is in its supporter choices, as it's not playing either Sabrina or Cyrus, as well as No Misty, and we will get to that, but let's focus on what they did decide to play, as Geo is necessary in a list like this, as Gyarados' 140 is able to knock out quite the amount of Pokemon in the meta. That extra 10 damage is what really pushes you through to be able to knock out even more, or more important numbers in the entire game, which is also why I believe they maxed out on Rocky Helmet, as both Helmet and Geo combine to put your opponent's Pokemon in range for the one shot of Gyarados. When it comes to Irida, I can see why they only played one, as at best, it prolongs Manaphy's ability to ramp in the front. Because when it comes to ranges, Gyarados' health is so high that nothing's really threatening to knock him out in one hit, and most threats are able to knock him out in two with or without the Irida. And the same thing goes for Cape, and that's why I assume they're only playing one, as its best use is just to equip it to Manaphy so that it doesn't get one shot by Carnivines and Skarmories and the likes of those cards. As for why they didn't play Misty, I have to assume that it's truly not in a rush to set up their Gyarados. And also the removal of Misty is the removal of variants that could make or break your run. Thus, if you're able to make a build that does not rely on Misty, you put yourself in a way better spot to beat a deck as consistent as Dialga Arceus. So ultimately, although generic Gyarados lists weren't built to perform very well in this meta, this list focused on just beating one deck, and truly it did it very efficiently. If you want to see a deeper dive into the tournament where this deck plays so well, check out my meta report. And if you enjoy breakdowns like these or all things Pokemon Pocket, please consider liking and subscribing. And above all else, stay pro. Alright, we're going first against Dark, starting Palkia. The fortunate is that we do have Leaf in hand, so if we somehow find Manaphy by our next turn, we're able to swap stuff around. Unfortunately, Darkrai loves going second, and it's not going to attack us anytime soon, and we'll just pass turn and I guess play it easy, take it easy, see where it goes. They're going to chip damage us down to... Yeah, no, this is a rough matchup. Yeah, so they're going to have that Darkrai as a wall. They probably have Leaf in hand. That's why they're committing to the Darkrai in the back. They're playing it correctly, so props to them for sure. There's our Magikarp. I guess we just commit to it. We are weak to a Sabrina play here, but there's not much else we could like try to do. So the upside is we do one-shot Darkrai once we're set up, right? So it would have been great. It would have been great to have Manaphy, but you know, we'll deal with what we got. The communication makes me think they're on the Weavile version. However, you usually use it to find Weavile and not the Sneasel. So I do wonder what the other card they have is. All right, so feeling a lot better now. Let's continue to build this up, evolve it into Gyarados. There's no real need to Rocky Helmet here, because yeah, they'll knock it out. They'll go down to 120. And then what? You know what? I'm gonna put down this Magikarp literally as a wall to whatever they're trying to do here. Again, the strategy is definitely to give them as many points as possible. Like, make them work for as many points as possible, right? So, like, the Origin Form's 1 point, the Magikarp would be a 2nd point, and then Gyarados makes them, like, we're forcing them to earn 4 points, while we're just trying to take 3. Granted, double Darkrai makes us also work for 4 points, so. But yeah, to play around Cyrus and Sabrina, we're not putting any Pokemon down after this. Or we're also not evolving the Magikarp. And what happens is that once we knock out this Darkrai that's ready to swing, they don't really have a way of, like, surviving, if that makes sense. Alright, there's Leaf. We'll go here. Then, you know what? I'll place Helmet on this Magikarp. And the reason I'm doing that, there's not really a justification, if I'll be honest. If they have Cape and Sabrina, they play around this play. But if they only have Cape, this play punishes them for it. Let's see. Realistically, if they have no Cape right now, well, if they don't have Cape right now, they lose the game, because this one's stuck at 140 HP thanks to the helmet. Yeah, that's game. That's the beauty of Gyarados, really. And now, since we're not committing anything else to the board, even if we had it, they have to work for that 4-point victory. And this Gyarados is not going down to anything they have here. Okay, we even got the research. One thing this deck could be playing is Mars, which is unfortunate. But again, we're not committing anything to the board. Just looking at what we have. And yeah, thanks to the helmet, they can't exceed the 140 HP mark, so we just one-shot them next turn. Their best bet, realistically, is like, let's say it's an Arceus version. They could have like Arceus caped and then leafed it out, and then it's just delaying the inevitable. GG's. And that's actually a pretty good example of like Gyarados at its peak, where we didn't even have a crazy hand. It's just, it's so bulky and hits so hard, and you play the 4-point game, and that's how you win. GG's. All right, going first. And I guess our ideal lead is always Manaphy. It's just going first is rough, especially in the mirror match. If they have Manaphy, they're going to ramp before we do. Okay, so it seems like they whiffed on Manaphy, so that's decent. Is it scary that Eevee might just flip for days and knock us out? 100%, but let's see what research gets us. I kind of don't feel comfortable putting Magikarp out just yet, so let's just pass like this. Technically, I could have put Cape so that it requires 1 more heads to knock us out, but let's see. Oof, this could end ASAP, actually. Alright, Misty's mad at us because we did not use her. Granted, I blame the guy who got 2nd place. Alright, so luckily for this, we could essentially heal up if we wanted to. Another thing to keep in mind is if they're playing Vaporeon, they could swing as soon as next turn. Because they would go Vaporeon, give it a 2nd energy, and then transfer it over. I still think research is the correct play because we need to see things to ramp out. Palkia is ideally exactly what I was thinking about. Let's go. Let's go here. Here. Energy here. If we're afraid of Vaporeon, then the Cape doesn't matter. If we're afraid of coin flips, I guess, no, actually, I'm going to put Cape just in case they just don't go into Palkia for the knockout. Let's do that. If they want to do the Vaporeon play, they got it. It's nothing we could do about it. And we'll hold this Palkia just in case we draw communication before the Gyarados. Which means I guess we could technically helmet the 2nd Palkia, but let's just keep it like this. Ramp up our energy and pass turn. Okay, so they found that Manaphy. Do they have... And they didn't see the Vaporeon, or at least didn't play it. Let's see here. Yikes, please stop. Okay, I was like, please stop. Alright, if we don't see Gyarados, is there a world where we just build up Palkia? Actually, there's no reason, right? There's also no reason for this Magikarp either. Let's go here. I guess technically we could Irida put us back to... Yeah, you know what? Let's continue to play around them just bring out Palkia early. Although them bringing out Palkia early might be in our best interest. But realistically, once Palkia flips, I mean, once Palkia is charged up, it doesn't matter what's in front of us, and Irida's not going to help us. So let's go here. If they don't Vaporeon now, we're able to knock out whatever they put in front of us with Palkia. With our own Palkia, of course. Hopefully we see Gyarados in time to like do something. That's kind of unfortunate. Okay, they're going for the Manaphy play. Okay. That's fine with us, right? Well, even Helmet. Helmet doesn't... Actually, Helmet does do something because of the Giovanni in our hand. Alright, this is actually perfect. All we need is Gyarados. Unfortunate. Back out into this. We need to see Gyarados next turn, and then we're fine. If we don't see Gyarados, then our deck was never doing anything. 6 cards left. 2/3 of them are Gyarados. One of them is a potential... Is a communication that could get us to Gyarados. And what else? What are we not seeing? Yep, that's about it. The other half is a Pokeball, a Manaphy, and it's probably a supporter card that I'm not thinking about. Let's just take our knockout on Manaphy. And we just need to see Gyarados next turn, and it's game. Regardless of what route they take. Because if they Palkia, Dimensional Storm, they'll go down to 150, and we have the Geo in hand. So... That's literally the only way we lose. I mean, the only way we lose is not seeing Gyarados, which, honestly, it's literally a coin flip. Can we get it? Do y'all believe? Like the video. I don't know. When people say that, oh, like for good pulls or good luck, like, man, this video's been recorded. What does it matter if you do it? But I won't be mad. It all comes down to this. I won't even put it forward, because if it doesn't show up, we lose. So... Yikes. Okay. That's not what we wanted to see. Pretty clearly. And they probably have some form of like Sabrina or something. Not ideal at all. That's upsetting. I guess I could have leafed. There was no reason to throw out the energy there, but... Technically, there's still a chance, right? If they don't... Okay. There's still a chance. I gave up, but... I don't think y'all been liking the video, if I'm gonna be honest. This is the final chance. There's literally 2 Gyarados and 1 Manaphy in the deck. Shout out to whoever liked the video. Yeah, it's definitely thanks to y'all. I used to be a skeptic, but you know, I don't know what I'm saying. Let's just take this dub. They probably think they're safe too. They don't know. This Geo, dude. Let's go. Well, not Geo, dude. Giovanni. But you get what I'm saying. GG's. And just like that, we took down what, like, statistically is the better water deck. GG's. And we get to go first again against another water deck. And this time we have Magikarp just sitting there. But we do have Gyarados off rip, so that makes me feel a little bit safer, I guess. And it's just Spider-Man meme. I'll try to end it. If I remember, I'll put it in post. Alright, there's the Manaphy. Well, it's not like we could have used it anyway, so There's not even a reason to put cape, right? Next turn at most. Yeah, let's just take it easy. Not show them our hand. Although we started awkward, they also started awkward, and we definitely fixed our hand up a bit. As to, I don't know why people communication so early. Granted, if they're playing multiple communications, or maybe they already have Gyarados and they're looking for Manaphy, I guess I understand, right? And it worked out for them, so yeah, that's honestly what our next turn is probably gonna look like, so that we could research. But at the same time, if we see Palkia off the top, we didn't. Okay, so yeah, we'll probably just research. Yeah, I'd rather have multiple targets to boost up. So let's do this. Communication, Pokeball. The Pokeball is almost guaranteed to be the origin form Palkia. Or not. We could have technically digged for Palkia, but a second Manaphy would have been even worse. We're definitely going to leap out. I guess the question is, do we want to use any of these yet? Probably not. And we're not going to evolve, because then we can't back out, right? So it's pretty self-explanatory there. Alright, pretty simple. So far, it's as mirror as a mirror match could be. But it might come down to who commits first. Also, the second Magikarp might have been a little too preemptive. They're on Misty. Okay, so clearly not card for card. Not that I expected it. Honestly, found this list to be very unique. And oof. Yeah, I guess after Misty noticed that helping the Palkia player wasn't enough to win, they decided to, like, take it easy on us. Okay, perfect. So now this... Yeah, this couldn't have been better, honestly. Let's go here. Show them that we have this. What else do we want to do? Definitely, we have to put an energy here. Ideally, as good as double Gyarados is, our best bet is definitely to go from Manaphy to Palkia to then Gyarados. So this Magikarp here doesn't really do much for us. I don't see them attacking next turn, so there's no need to helmet or cape. So let's once again just take it slow. Build up Gyarados, build up Palkia. On the non-EX Gyarados, that's quite... Actually, that makes perfect sense. Not perfect, I'm not saying it's correct. But like in the case like what we're doing, from Manaphy to the other Gyarados is a pretty solid play. Granted, if we see Geo, we completely punish this Gyarados as soon as it like shows its face. But let's see here. We definitely go. Yeah, let's go here. All right. So they will get their first knockout on our Gyarados before... I wonder how they'll decide to play it. Okay, yeah. Clearly they're going to go in the aggressive. They're going to cape that Gyarados. Okay. A good thing is that this Gyarados cannot one-shot our Palkia. So that's one thing to keep in mind. We do have Leaf as well. Let's go here. If we put them to 140, they hit us for 100. We no, okay. Let's put the helmet on here. Which I guess means put cape here. And honestly, let's hope for for our heads on the coin flip, right? Putting them in a position where we definitely knock them out next turn if they don't do anything. All right, perfect. So even if they Irida, we're a head flip away from like knocking them out, as well as like a Giovanni on this will also knock them out. The Eevee, does the Eevee matter? Like if they were to have a Vaporeon, does it realistically do anything? I don't personally believe so. I could be wrong. Again, we're playing the 4-point game. They took Manaphy. We're going to give them Palkia. Ideally, we wouldn't have the other Magikarp down, but I honestly... in how many turns have passed, I lost track to the situation I was in which I decided to put the second Magikarp, but... okay, seems like no Irida, so we have a guaranteed knockout on this Gyarados. There's the Geo. We were always doing this. I guess the biggest fear is if they decide to go Eevee, but if they decide to go Eevee, that's a risk that if they get Tails, they just auto like lose to us, right? Because we could Irida, but what I'm thinking is like if they hit this for 140, they put us down to 60, Irida puts up to 100. Yeah, the best case scenario for this is to keep it out of the Eevee range. We'll never really need a heal otherwise. At least that's how I'm looking at it, right? Let's take our knockout, and then it's going to be a battle of the Gyaradoses. Which realistically, we win that battle because our Gyarados will hit their Gyarados first. Until they Sabrina us, then we're in danger. But, yeah, next turn we'll definitely evolve this Gyarados. They're giving us Manaphy. What? They're really digging for like a Vaporeon play, I guess. I really don't know where their head's at. Glaceon. Okay, I was not expecting Glaceon. This whole time I was like, oh, Vaporeon deck, Vaporeon deck. Wait, but we one-shot Glaceon. What's... can't say I agree with what they're doing. We'll definitely evolve here. And let's put Gyarados in a position where even if they were to snipe an energy from us, we could just quickly put the energy right back. And let's take our knockout. And now we're even. But we still have the advantage in terms... this Palkia is flexing on poor Pokemon that don't even have 60 HP. When it's supposed to... granted, it worked. It did its work on the other Gyarados. So you know what? Palkia, keep doing your thing. Alright. So now we're really putting them on. Better do something. Like if we had Sabrina, they have like no way of beating us, I believe. Like what was the point of delaying it to this manner? I don't know. So they were on both Vaporeon and Glaceon. And they're on both Gyaradoses. This is a list of all time. Let's see if it pays off. Well, oh, it took an energy from itself. I'm like, where'd the energy come out of? Alright, so outside of them having Cape, we one-shot everything after this one turn. And nothing one-shots us, so... and I guess if we're going to do anything, we'll put Helmet there. We could put... again, there's two... actually, let's keep loading him up. If we shoot the Gyarados, we for sure win this game. So let's see where it goes. And where did the energy come out of? Wow. That is huge. Outside of them having Cape this upcoming turn on the Glaceon, that basically locked it up. Yeah, that last card literally has to be Cape. And then, even then, if it's not Leaf, they can't even back out the Gyarados. Yeah, GG's. So, would this personally be my choice of how to build up Gyarados? No. But 100% more than what we just went against. So, GG's to our opponent.